Anytime we get a new style, like in a display, then we grab another electronic tag and then update that and put that on the display. It's really nice when they're all done. We've had many like sales reps tell us how nice they look. They look very professional. They just give an updated look to the showroom. And we love them. And I guess the very best thing is we will never, ever have to reprice our showroom again.
And it's great to be here with everyone. It's excited to be able to talk about our new QTagger product here that we've got. And I know that I'm really excited. This is something that's kind of gotten lost, I think, in all of the merger stuff that went on and stuff like that. We kind of had this coming out right about at the same time. And so I think, the messaging was probably confused and that kind of a thing. And so I'm just looking at uh, being able to reintroduce and give kind of an overview of what we're doing here and how we're trying to make things better for our customers. So it's great to be here with you today. We will have a question and answer period. Sometimes we do it throughout if there's some questions about specific things, but at the very end, we will have a time where we can answer your questions. If you just type them in, we will go ahead and do that. I have Aaron and some people here with me that are helping me manage that. We do have a guest that has been using QTagger here for a while now, and she's going to give us her experience towards the end of the presentation. So look forward to that, some real life QTagger experiences here. And, this shouldn't be too long today. Who knows? Sometimes we get a lot of questions, but just look forward to being with you all. Always great to be with our customers. So I love it. I love being here and just also appreciate all the support that we've been getting from our customers. It's been truly a great thing. So let's get to QTagger, right? I want to start off with here, let me see if I can change my screen here. There we go. I kind of wanted to start off a little bit with QPay because I'm seeing a similar type of thing. When we introduced QPay 4 years ago, at first there was some skepticism and some hesitancy and some questions. And, I would often get like, hey, I don't get this. I already have a credit card processing company. And, it's just fine. What's your rate? That was always the first question. What's the rate? What's the this? What's, um, and it just wasn't registering. Why would I need to come to QPay when I already have a credit card processing and it's worked for me for 20 years. And then time would go on and time would, pass. And then, finally, they would understand more about why we're making such a big deal and they would convert. And then they would always come back to me and say, I'm so dumb. Why didn't I do this sooner? This has cost me so much time and money and a lot of times it's about the rates, right? I mean, we almost always save people money in QPay. The majority of people are saving money, but it's more than that. And until people actually used it, they didn't get it. They didn't understand what the benefits were, right? So just by talking about it, sometimes it's kind of hard to explain why this is such a big deal. But from my perspective, QTagger is a big deal. It is something that can help streamline your business and help in your marketing efforts with your customers, make you look more professional, allow you to change the pricing and things in your showroom by just pushing buttons instead of having to go back out and reprice things. And I do know also, like with QPay, there are other showroom pricing solutions that are out there. And so why not just stick with where I'm at? Well, I think it comes back and has to do with the integrations, and until you use them and understand them, you won't completely understand why what the offering is, or um what the big deal is about actually using this integrated with QFloors and how it makes your life a lot better. So, and I think uh our guest speaker at the end will be able to kind of compare and talk about that, about life before and life after, right? So, so let's move on from that. So basically, what is QTagger, right? I want to introduce this. I just want to play a short video that we've created that will kind of introduce a little bit about what we're talking about today.
Every day, flooring stores like yours face the challenge of keeping prices up to date, manually changing tags, chasing down updates, losing margins on outdated pricing, and leaving your customers to go check a price. It's a time-consuming headache. And when prices aren't accurate, you could be losing money without even knowing it. Introducing QTagger, the easiest way to keep your showroom priced and organized for a professional look that drives sales. Fully integrated with QFloors, QTagger automatically updates product and pricing data every single day. No manual effort required. Print QR code labels or assign digital tags in just a couple of clicks. QTagger's hybrid approach lets you mix QR codes and digital displays, offering the flexibility you need to fit your showroom style and budget. With QTagger, your customers get all the information they need in seconds, right at their fingertips. And it's always up to date, making it easier for them to buy and easier for you to sell. Say goodbye to tedious price updates. QTagger checks for changes daily and updates automatically, so you can focus on running your business, knowing your prices are always right. Priced right, every day, effortlessly. Start using QTagger today and experience the difference. Simplify your showroom, save time, and ensure your prices are always accurate without lifting a finger. See how easy pricing can be with QTagger.
All right. So let me see if I can get to the next slide here.
Every day, flooring stores like yours face the challenge.
I didn't need to do that again. Okay, here we go. All right, so obviously we're talking about these QR codes and some other tagging options. I want to talk about the QR codes first. So one option that we have in tagging your showroom is by putting these QR codes on your samples out into your showroom, right? And so, hold on for 1 second. And so, when we put these out there, I'm going to let everybody grab your phone, first of all, if you've got one nearby where you can go ahead and scan this code. So you can imagine a customer out on the showroom there, and they're walking by a display or whatever, and they go ahead and they can just hit this code, right? And this virtual tag, like you should all be able to see this on your phones if you scan that code, will come up and it will show them a lot of information about this product here. So you can see that this is hammock beige, Captiva is the style, hammock beige is the color. You've got a price here, which one of the cool parts about this is that price should match the price in your QFloors because it's using the same formulas from QFloors to come up with this price here. So if you were to go back into QFloors and type in Captiva hammock beige, you should see the $8.89 per square foot there, right? Right below that, it's kind of smaller font. Probably need to make that bigger, but you can see in stock, and you can see it's 13,200 square feet of stock right there. And so if you you can see all this at a glance. Then there's a kind of a drop down list. If you click on that, it says select a color. You can see all the colors that are in this associated with the stock. And you can even see things like if you go down to beach where it says 824, it's got a different price. Maybe you're buying rolls of that or something like that. So you can see the different prices for the different colors that are in here and all the colors that go along with that style. So kind of the idea is you don't have to put a QR code on every single color. Now you can if you want, but if you just put it on a rack and have one code there, you can see all those different colors. Then there's a barcode. You see the barcode on there, okay? That barcode is a QFloors barcode, where if you take that over to your terminal where your QFloors is, you can scan that barcode into a QFloors sales order, and it will bring that product up right on there. So you don't have to guess what the product is, right? And then down below that, you can see a bunch of pictures that you can also see the product, some room scenes, stuff like that. You also have the ability within QTagger for the customer to upload their own, or for the company to upload their own pictures into here too, right? So you can upload as many as you want to be associated with a certain color. So there's options for that. QFloors does send over one picture automatically if you have a picture in your catalog. So the idea is you can send a picture from QFloors, which would be maybe like this top left one here, the product. And then you could also upload other pictures to go along with this. So you can kind of customize this tag yourself, right? With different things. I've heard a lot of times that after they go install, after you do an installation at somebody's house, they'll take pictures. Well, you could take some of those customer pictures and upload them with these tags so that they can see it, the real thing, not just the staged pictures there. So that's kind of a quick overview of what you can do with these QR codes and what they can actually look like here, right? Let's see here. The other option that you have is that users could log in to our QTagger site, right? This is what our QTagger website actually looks like. And there's a way that even your customers that are walking in could sign up and like log into this site, right? And if they do that and they're logged in as themselves, it has some more features in here, where the customer that comes in, you know, they can see special pricing that's just for them. So let's just say that you have a builder or something that has an account on QTagger, and they're going to have different prices than the normal walk-in everyday person that's not logged into QTagger. So they would have some other features like that. If you're logged in, you also can have a wish list where you can add products onto your wish list, this customer that's walking through. And if that's the case, then they can take that wish list, show their friends and family, stuff like that, while they're not even in the store, and they can pick products, take products home with them, right? So there's some advanced things that they can do if they're actually logged in. And then an employee can also log in from your store. So there's a off the street scan, there's a customer that has an account scan, and they can do additional things if they're logged in. And then if you're an employee, you can actually do some additional things, like you can take the lead. You know, there's a list of customers coming in here. You could take the lead of the list of customers and send that lead to QFloors. Okay. So, you know, as you're capturing leads, you can then send them to the QFloors lead screen, and that's also functional right now. And then the other thing, if you're an employee, you can see the wish list of that customer. So you can see the products that they're most interested in, right? And that's just another little feature. So we have features for people off the street, customers that have accounts, and employees that work at the store themselves. We do have a future thing that's coming for the actual tags right here on your phone. And that would be, we're going to be adding some buttons that will actually connect to Roomvo in a couple of different ways. We'll have a sample checkout button here that if you push on it, it will take you to the new Roomvo RSA Pro app. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but Roomvo has a new sample checkout, CRM, browser-based, web-based. So it would basically be the replacement for the QFloors lead screen here, right? So in the future, we have a new product coming with Roomvo, and this tag right here would be connected. If you push on it, you would be able to start to check out a sample and then go into the CRM on the browser. So a lot of things happening with Roomvo. There will also be another button on here for the visualizer, for the Roomvo visualizer. So if you click on that, you'll be able to visualize the product inside of Roomvo also. So be aware, all this stuff is connected, right? QFloors, QTagger, Roomvo. We've got all these connections going on that will also be pretty cool. Let's see. So before I go on, we have a question here. When you scan the barcode, does this go into a sales proposal and the price that shows up for the customer where QFloors this come from? So I think what you're asking is this barcode on here. If you walk over to QFloors, right, and you go to a sales proposal right here in QFloors, hit the new button or whatever, right? In QFloors. And then go onto this style right here, scan the barcode right here. That product will show up with the price that's right here will also show up. Okay, so it's all interconnected with QFloors and the way that it works. So let me move on now to, and then we'll have a chance to answer some other questions coming up here. So let's keep going down here a little bit. So one of the things that's pretty unique about QTagger is not only can we do QR codes, but we have the ability to do electronic codes all in the same product, or electronic tags, let me just say. So what that means is in one place on our QTagger site here, you can either print down here, print the tags, those QR codes that you go put them on stickers out onto your racks and everything, or you can assign electronic tags here all on the same screen, all within the same product, right? So it's kind of an either or. You can put the QR tags out there, you could put electronic codes out there, or you can do both electronic and QR codes all on the same racks. It's flexible. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do. Right? So these are the three sizes of tags that we have. These littler ones right here and going up. These you have to buy individually. I believe, don't quote me on this, but it's like $18 for the smallest ones, going up to like $70, $80 for the biggest ones. This one's like 40. It's like, those are the ranges. Don't quote me. Probably should have gotten a price list. Did not get to that point. Anyway, these are the same exact tags. I don't know if you've seen it, but Walmart is rolling their stuff out with these tags. These are the identical tags that Walmart uses. Us and Walmart are some of the first ones to roll out these new and improved tags that are going. So they're not going to go away anytime soon if Walmart's using them, the same exact system. So let's come down to here a little bit on our next one. In QTagger, all of these are the predefined formats that you can have displayed on your electronic tags. Okay, so there's 10 different ones, or 12, what was it, 3, 6, 9, 10, something like that, that you can display on the tags. And these are ones that you just select from on the, when you come over here on this window right here, it's called a scenario. Once you put the tag ID in here, it would show you the different scenarios that are available. So that's just where you select which one you want to display. So on part of your electronic tags, You could have things sold on sale. You know, on the other ones, you could have just these normal prices. It's up to you. If you want a custom tag, if you want something to be not one of the defaults that we have, it's just like Q Reporter, right? Where you can call us up, you can say, hey, I want this tag to start like this, but I want to change some of the things that are on here. We can create a custom tag just for you. It's just like Q Reporter, you pay a little small fee, and we can do them your own custom tags. Okay. So that's one other cool part about this. Let's see here. So those are the different kinds of tags. Attaching the tags to your displays, right? There's a lot of different methods. There's like these clip methods. This one is on a tabletop. We're finding that some of the easier ways, and I'll let our guest explain to you how they connect their tags. Some of them have just like double stick tape with like Velcro on it, or double stick tape, or, you know, and I've also heard that just hot glue also works pretty good. So there's little ways where you can do this. There's not just one way where you can attach them, but there are, you know, some more formal methods where you can buy these attachments, or you can use cheaper things like double stick tape and hot glue, stuff like that. This is just showing you how some of those attachments go out onto the racks, right? In a store. And this just shows you, you know, you can go down to your Walmart and look and see what they've done. I think most Walmarts have rolled this out fairly recently. If you go down to Walmart and they don't have it, that's probably it. They haven't gotten to it yet, that one, but more and more you're going to see all this just rolling out through all the Walmarts. So, so yeah, that's Walmart. Okay. Let me just show you real quick. So how this actually kind of goes in QFloors, right? For a second. And I'll give you just a quick process. The details of all this will probably have you, you know, once you sign up, and you're not going to remember all this, but once you sign up, you know, we'll have people help walk you through all this. But this is just to give you a general idea of how, you know, how the process that you would need to go through to actually get this up and going in QFloors. So first of all, in QFloors, you need to have a QConnect account. Most of our dealers are starting to get to the point where they have a QConnect account now for other things like for QPay or for installer view, account view. We have all these products that are now tied to a QConnect, which just allows us to connect with other programs and other software outside of QFloors. Now, since, you know, QPro, or I mean, since QTagger, you know, is a website, that's why we kind of have to use QConnect to connect to QTagger. Okay. So we've got QConnect here, the settings. You'll have to have your username and password. Like I say, if you're not sure, if you don't have this in your system already, you'll have to come and sign up for a QConnect account. They'll ask you what products are you going to use with that. You would say QTagger or QPay or whatever it is. They'll get you username and password, and then you can see all these different options of things that can work with QConnect. And this is the wrong one. It would actually be this one right here, send display tag. So username and password, this one would be clicked right here, as long as, and also being active. And that's how you kind of get the basic setup to be connected to QConnect. So you can check your software. Again, this is setup, integrations, QConnect, and you can see if you've already got a QConnect account with a username and password. The second thing is once you're connected to QConnect, you can now start telling QTagger which products that you want to display, or which products you want to create tags for, right? And you do that inside of our product catalog. You don't have to export lists and all that kind of stuff. This is automatically done in your catalog. So if you come over here, there's a couple of different ways of connecting this to QTagger. You can do this one style at a time and with a bunch of colors if you wanted to do it that way. So, you know, if I came over and I did like Dixie right here, and I came over to this style, I can hit edit style. And if I click on the display tags feature right here, I think I was playing with this one before. If I hit there, hit edit style, and then hit display tags and push OK, when I do that, it will send this style and the colors that go with this style over to QTagger. Okay. And when you do that, then when you hit the update button over here, you would see that style and the colors that go along with that style over in this part of the area. And then you can select those by just, you know, selecting the boxes here, go down to the bottom, hit print selected SKUs. It'll print out the tags for that style. You can go out and put the stickers on that style, right? So people that are just getting started, that's usually what I recommend, is maybe going rack by rack, setting it up one at a time. And you can actually do that just by selecting the style and the colors that go along with that, right? So this is one way, and when you're first getting started, that's something that you can do. You can also do like a bulk setup. So this online catalogs right here, you can come over here and you could do, let's see, you could say, I want to do either, you know, if I did Dixie and then I did like, I want all the carpet, and then I did display and I want to turn this on. This, and I did update settings. This would actually add, it would actually turn on the tags on all of your styles and colors for all the Dixie carpet, right? And it would do it all at one time. You wouldn't have to go through style by style and do them one at a time like that, okay? This one actually updates overnight if you do it this way, okay? And so what happens is in the middle of the night, every night, I think it's about 1 o'clock, depends on your time zone. QFloors will send the new tags or any updated pricing, like if you did a B2B download or anything like that, it would send the new pricing for all of the tags that you have selected, and send that information over to QTagger, and then QTagger picks that up in the middle of the night and pushes that all out. So let me just give you a scenario. You have B2B come down, update your pricing in the day sometime, right? When you're doing your B2B updates. Then that night, and you already have these selected, then that night, QFloors is going to gather up all the products that are tagged and send them over to QConnect. And then QTagger is going to pick them up from QConnect and then push them all out. So the next day when you come in, let's just say you have electronic tags, if there were any prices that changed, they would all already be changed when you come in, okay? So that all happens overnight automatically. You don't have to do anything. So the biggest part is going to be getting things set up in your showroom, you know, putting the QR codes out, putting the electronic tags out, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So, and that can be done over time gradually. You can just get everybody to help and kind of do it all at one time, right? So just kind of depends on how you want to do that. And I think I'll let our guest speak a little bit more to what that was like for them and how that happened for them. They're going to be the best to kind of do that. So basically, this is kind of how this whole system works. QTagger. There is an extra cost to doing QTagger. If you just do the QR codes, it's $250 a month. There is an extra charge per location. I think it's $100 and something for each additional location. For QTagger, we call it e-tags, right? The electronic tags part. It's about $100 more a month, and then there's an extra charge per location. Our sales team can get you those prices. Kind of the cool part is though, if you have Roomvo products, like if you have their websites, or if you have their pro version of the CRM, if you have their digital marketing, if you have all of these different QPro or Roomvo products, and you have multiple QFloors products, like let's say you have QFloors, let's say you have QTagger, let's say that you have QPay, let's say that you have, installer view, all these additional things, we do now have bundled pricing. So if you are looking to do all of these products, you don't have to pay individually. They all get lumped together, and the prices are very, very, very good. Somewhere in the range of about half of what you would get if you bought or signed up for all of these different prices individually, or products individually. So I'm going to let you get with the sales team about your individual situation. But there is an extra charge for QTagger, but there are some awesome options in case you wanted to just do it all together at one time. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to introduce our guest here really quick, I think. Okay. And she's going to give us kind of her experience. Let me turn her on. Let's see if she's still here with me. Whoops. Why can I? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. You need to unmute yourself too. Can you unmute? Oh. Can we hear you? Yes. Say something, Denise.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Perfect. We can hear
Good.
you.
Awesome.
I'm going to let you go, and you just give whatever you want to give, my friend.
Okay.
This is Denise VanderHeide from DeHaan Flooring in Michigan.
Yes, Grand Rapids.
That was
Yep.
really good. Yep, there we go.
Yep. All right. About 4 or 5 months ago, we decided that we were going to kind of dive in and try the QTagger. So we had ordered our electronic tags, and while we were waiting for those to come in, we decided we were going to start with the QR codes. So we got onto the SKU site, like Chad just showed you. We started uploading different products that we had. We did take Chad's advice, and we started with like one display and wrote everything down, uploaded those, printed all the QR codes for those, put those in a folder, went on to the next display, uploaded those, put those in a folder. We did use a couple office staff and our sales staff. Whenever they had like some downtime, we had the QR codes printed, and they would go and put them on the samples. We do have every single sample in our store has a QR code on it. We decided that would be best for us. Then in case customers, of course, take samples out, then they could scan the sample at home. We do have some larger samples and smaller samples. But then we thought they could, find the price at home. Then after we were probably a third of the way done with our QR codes, the electronic tags came in, so we started on those. We have almost 500 electronic tags. That went way quicker than the QR codes. And we started display by display, and we put the electronic tags on our displays. Now, some of our displays have 2 electronic tags, and honestly, we have a few displays that have 20. It just depends. Like Shaw has some displays that have 20 different styles in one display. So we did opt to put 20 electronic tags on that display. At first, we were a little leery of doing that, but it worked great, and the sales staff love it. So then we got done with the electronic tags, and that was, like I said, a very simple procedure. We called QFloors a couple times. They helped us with that. Then we went back to the QR codes and printed more and got all those attached. For a while, maybe for a week, it did seem quite like a lot of work because we probably had 10 folders with all kinds of QR codes that had to go out on the floor. But honestly, it did not take very long. Everyone kind of dug in. We just did them little by little. I would say in total, it probably took a month to do our whole showroom. And it wasn't like we did it 8 hours a day. It was like we kind of did it here and there. So I say it takes a month, but it really didn't take that long. So now our entire showroom is set up. Anytime we get a new sample in, it just goes to our back office. We print a QR code for them all, and then they go out on the floor. Anytime we get a new style, like in a display, then we grab another electronic tag and then update that and put that on the display. It's really nice when they're all done. We've had many like sales reps tell us how nice they look. They look very professional. They just give an updated look to the showroom. And we love them. And I guess the very best thing is we will never, ever have to reprice our showroom again. That's wonderful. That's really exciting because we would spend many, many hours updating our showroom.
Even when the price goes up, right? Like,
Yes, correct.
but prices never change in our industry. They're always the same, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is fun to come in the morning. And one time we changed the look of our tags. So they went from like a black and white tag to the solid black tag. And we left for the day. They were all black and white. And we came into the next morning and they were all black and they look very cool. So yeah, it's cool to see them updated. We actually use a couple of the different types of electronic tags. We use the seal tags for products we have in stock. So those have like red tags on them, so people can see that those are special. We have, like when Shaw will run a sale or Kerastan or Mohawk will run a sale, we'll have sale tags on those items so people can see that those are also on sale. And that is just like a click to change the color or the look of the tag. So that's really fun to do too.
It's fun. I
It
love
is.
it. It's fun. You mentioned that you you stopped doing the QR codes, you put the e-tags out, and then you went back and did the QR codes after that. Why did you go back and keep doing the QR? Like, are you finding that people are using both the QR codes and the e-tags? Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes. The reason that we went back is because we hadn't completed the task. Because the QR codes do take longer to put on than the electronic tags.
Why is that? Why did the QR codes take longer?
Because we were putting them on each sample, on each color. So just for example, if a carpet had 15 colors, we would put it on each sample. So then if someone took a large sample out or 4 large samples out, they could scan it and see what each price was. So
Okay.
I don't know if most people would do that, but we just found that was best and easiest for us.
Okay. But you could, if there was one style with many colors, they can still look up those other colors, right?
Correct. Yes.
So in effect they could, okay. All right. Yeah. And so, and it's faster because you were doing more, you had to print more QR codes because you were doing one per sample.
Yes. Yeah. We actually, I mean, we had stacks of QR codes to put on the samples. And at first I looked at that, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to take us forever, but it didn't. It went pretty quickly.
Somebody asked, how do you handle tile samples that have so many pieces on each board?
Yeah, that was a discussion. We actually did the tile last because we weren't sure how we were going to do that. What we did, and it works best for us, is a ceramic tile board might have like a 12 by 24 on it, and then it might have a mosaic on it, and then maybe it comes in 5 other sizes. We just took the tile board in the 12 by 24, like the big sample that was on there. That's the QR code we put on. And then we might put the mosaic QR code on also. So the tile boards might have 1 or 2 or 3 QR codes on them. But then if a customer wants something other than that, say they want an 8 by 24 and it's not on the QR code, the sales staff know to go into QFloors and just locate that other size. So, I mean, all the prices, it would just have 15 different QR codes if you put all of them on a tile board. So we opted to put the size that was on there.
Okay. What kind of paper do you use to print the QR codes on the labels?
So we used the forms that you guys had recommended. I don't have the name, it's an Avery label. At first, we started printing them and started putting them on, and I actually was a little afraid they would rub off. So I got a different, like a heavier duty Avery label. And so we tried them both, and they honestly didn't make a difference. The second label we tried were probably 3 or 4 times the cost. So, and like I said, they didn't really make a difference. So we stuck with the one that you guys had recommended, and I could look up what that is, but it worked really well.
As long as it's the one we're recommending our support department, I think we can
Yeah.
get. Okay. Let's see. Do you have to have B2B setup, or can you use your existing pricing in the Q catalog? So the biggest thing is you can do non-B2B pricing on here, or non-B2B products, but they have to have unique SKUs, right? So that's the biggest key to that. So if you're using something that's non-B2B, the SKUs have to be unique. Is a color printer necessary for sticker tags? No. They can be a laser printer. Do the printed tags need to be replaced every time there is a price? No. That's the cool part. This is why you're doing this. You never have to replace another tag again. Like the price changes and you're good to go. So that's the only reason you would do this is that when the price changes, when you look it up in here on your phone, you got the new price. You don't have to change any tags or anything. That's why we're doing this, right? So,
Hey, Chad, I do have a recommendation
yes.
for people.
Uh-huh.
When you're doing the electronic tags, it is pretty important that after the tags, after the price comes on the tag, that you just double check before you put them on your floor that they match your QFloors. We had a couple that we didn't have set up correctly. And so we had to kind of maneuver through that a little bit. So my recommendation is you set them next to your computer, you wait till they turn on, and then just double check them. It's really quick. But you won't be sorry. Otherwise, you might find something on your floor that is priced way off. So
Just curious, what was it that was wrong? Like what was wrong? You remember?
Some of them we have, I think it's the pricing. What is that called? The way that the pricing is calculated.
The formula?
Yeah, the formula. We had zeros in some of them. And so it wasn't pulling off that, it was pulling off the product type, I believe it was.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it was calculating an incorrect price.
So it was a setup with the formulas, correct?
Yes, correct.
But
Yep.
once you fix that, have you found any problems after that?
No, not at all.
Okay. So what you're saying is initially when you're doing this, make sure that the prices are matching up, but then once you got it right, it should do it correctly.
Oh, yeah, then it's fine. Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Let me see. I believe Roomvo is coming out with a barcode feature as well. If everything is merging and QFloor is the same way, which is the better platform to use QFloors or Roomvo. So yeah, so Roomvo has some QR codes also that work with their visualizer. Um, I would suggest if you haven't done either yet, that you do QTagger. I believe that will be the default standard. If you've already done Roomvo QR codes, they will make them so that those same tags will point back over to the QTagger system. So there is a way for them to do that. Have they done that yet? No. But if you haven't done either, I would go with the QTagger tags first. So if you have any additional questions about that, I think I can help you with that. Does the overnight pricing update manual changes also, or only B2B downloads? Yeah, manual changes also occur. So if you go in and make a manual price change in your catalog and it's defined as a QTagger product, it will also change. Doesn't have to come just from B2B. Good question. Where in QFloors does the price come from? Set the retail price. So the prices are coming from, it's the same, it's the same or can be the same. You just heard Denise say that you got to have it set up correctly. But when you have the prices that are coming out here as you're filling out sales orders, you can have those same prices be the same ones that are coming out on your QTagger. And I think that's what Denise was explaining is at first they had something wrong with their pricing formulas right here that are coming up. There was something wrong in here where it wasn't set up correctly. In fact, these are QTagger things right here. So it's a bigger detail. It's beyond this conversation that we're having right now. But as long as you have them set up, the pricing that goes out there corresponds to what's on your sales order. And Denise, I did say that correctly, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. All right. All perfect home displays for Alliance Group have QR codes on them that work with Roomvo. Will those work with QTagger? So that's what I just explained. I think if you want QTagger, I've been told that they can point those codes over to QTagger. I will get more clarification on that if you want to reach out directly to me. I'll make sure that we get that question solved. But that's my understanding. If you've already done that, that they can point it to QTagger. Are there any significant differences between QTagger and showroom pricing? So this is what I was talking about at the first, is that showroom pricing is a competitive product that works outside of QFloors. I would say the biggest thing is the integrations, right? That all this automation and stuff that we've done with within QFloors and how the B2B updates and all with showroom pricing. If you're using QFloors and showroom pricing in the past, you have to export through a CSV file, upload, and stuff like that. I will give you one additional thing about QTagger I did not mention. It is limited right now to 25,000 SKUs. Now, I'm guessing, Denise, you haven't run into any problems with running out of number of SKUs, right?
We have not, no.
So, I mean, it's in a way where one major difference between showroom pricing and QTagger, I think, is showroom pricing, you just upload like hundreds of thousands of SKUs and then you pick them from there. QTagger, you're manipulating it through our product catalog. It's limited to 25,000 right now. When we go to QPro, it'll go back to being unlimited. So I think 25,000 is a pretty large number. But when we get to our new QPro product towards the end of the year, by the way, we're still on schedule. Things are, we were scheduled to be done with all the coding at the end of the month. That is still on schedule. So we're 2 weeks away. And that has been for the last 2 years, we've been on schedule. It's been amazing. Year and a half. It'll be 2 years this fall. So I fully suspect that people will start to be able to fully convert over to QPro towards the last of this year. So that will make even when we go to QPro, it won't be done overnight. The pricing will be automatic. So that will be one huge difference between QFloors or QPro and Showroom Pricing is when you click on something, there's no updating. QTagger just grabs the stuff directly from QPro. So it'll be instantaneous. It won't be overnight upgrade. So that will be another significant difference. All right. I think we worked through most of the questions here. Anything, Denise, that I left out?
I think just one thing that I can think of is you can force an update. Like if you don't want to wait overnight for your tags to update, you can force an update and they'll all start flashing and they'll all change. So if
Yeah.
you've been working in it and you have like a lot of price changes that you want to happen now, you can just update it and then it will, all your tags start flashing and they'll update right then.
That's this one right here, right? Export online catalogs.
Yep, yep,
So this is, if you're in your product catalog and you hit catalog printing and exporting, you can hit this export online catalogs and it will do the full catalog right away instead of just one style.
yep.
Yep, good. Wonderful. Well, I think we got through this. Denise, thank you so much. Hey, any plugs
Thank you.
any plugs for QPay while we're here?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you are not using QPay, I highly recommend it. I think that is one of the best things that we have done. I can say that it has saved us tens of thousands of dollars. We do the QPay, we do the surcharging. I was a little leery of the surcharging when we first started. It is wonderful. Like I said, tens of thousands of dollars that it saved us just doing that. And it makes things so easy. It's just great.
Yeah, I think if the surcharging, absolutely, if you're doing that, that is literally tens of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah.
But even if you're not doing surcharging, just the integrations and things like that, I mean, those are well worth it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
oh, for sure.
not just the money. The money's one thing, but the way it integrates and stuff. So yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we really appreciate you being with us, Denise. Appreciate
Thank you.
everybody else. I think this is a great overview for QTagger. Very excited about this. This is just, I think we're headed all in the right direction, especially with Roomvo, all this connected. It's going to be awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank everybody else for being here today, and we'll catch up with you later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.